Sing with me.
Okay. What it do, what it be? It's your girl El Chi, and I'm back with the motherfucking tea. And you are tuning into Late Night Thoughts with me, your host, Joya Chi, the bad B on IG, or Black JPG on Twitter. Tonight we are joined by the one, the only phenomenon, serial enthusiast, serial serenader, according to some, Kamau Wainana. Welcome to the stew, bro. Hi. Wait. Is your mic even on, Chair?
I hope so.
It is now.
Okay, cool.
It's now. Welcome. How are you feeling?
All right. Not too.
Yeah?
Okay.
You're feeling good?
Yeah.
I'm excited to get into this with you because, you know, we've been having a couple interesting questions. People want to know some things.
Oh, Lord.
But, you know, we got to start off with how's your week been? How's your day been? What have you been up to so far, you know?
Week's been interesting.
Yeah.
Pretty turbulent.
Yeah.
But also for the most part, okay.
Mm.
Today I colored my hair. And
I see that.
It was interesting because I was gonna keep it a secret from my parents.
How
I
no?
sat down in the chair and I turned to my left and my father was there. So it was a fail.
Wait, in the barbershop?
In the barbershop. And he was like, "Hey, stranger." I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Oh, God.
No plans, just pure coincidence. It was weird as
His
fuck.
direct connect to God is crazy because, yeah.
And he was like, "So you're not doing the whole thing, are you?" I'm like, "Leave me alone." But it was interesting. Yeah. So it's been a very like retrograde ass week. That's what I'm gonna say.
Oh, bless. Is it actually retrograde?
Yes.
See, I'm not even tuned in like that.
way.
In a big way, bigly. Oh, I feel that. I'm sorry that you're going through it. So why the dying? Is it one of those like kind of like impulsive decisions? Everything's just crazy. So you're like, I'm gonna dye my hair.
It was like sitting in my head, and then I was like, okay, nothing makes sense, so I might as well like color my hair. And the only regret I have right now is I didn't do the whole hair. I did the tips, and I was like, no, this isn't enough, because like I feel like this is just like people are gonna see this and not notice because they're gonna be like, oh yeah, like this is normal.
You're right, because I didn't actually pick it up. Yeah, until you said.
So I feel like it's something that like maybe I want to like next time the impulsive decision is gonna go crazier.
It's gotta give twin. I feel like the blonde bad bitches. You know, that's the game.
Exactly.
Now, Mal from nowhere.
Yes.
I wanted to ask, is nowhere a synonym for Nairobi? Because, you know, if you really sit down and think about it, this really is just a nothing ass place. Like, and it just be scared the fuck out of the hoes. And I feel like, you know, maybe that was a tactic that you used to distance yourself from the city. Or do you have like a more appropriate PR response?
Good question.
Yeah.
Is this water mine?
Yes, it is yours. Feel free.
So in regards to Noah, originally began as like a piss stick because like obviously I grew up like quite third culture, so like I grew up partly here in the UK, and then also in other countries periodically. So I feel like at the time I was talking to like my girlfriend at the time, and she was like also quite third culture, and we're basically just trying to come up with a way that like my name could not just be Mao, because it was really hard to find me on socials and streaming. It was a very like deliberate with the U, but then also without the U. It was like there are other Maos and other Mao affiliated names that like make it hard for me to be found. So I was like, okay, I need something a bit more dramatic.
Yeah.
I just kept thinking of artists like Chance the Rapper.
Yeah.
Or, you know, Eric the Architect. So I was like, okay, what can I put like as an epithet or something to make me stand out more? And then she was like, what about like Mao from Nowhere?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. And I called my manager at the time, and she was like, that kind of hits.
Yeah.
To stick with it. Yeah.
How did the other, because we talked about this earlier, you said your mom wasn't really feeling it at first.
Yeah, she was like, she's very, bless her, she's very like positive.
Yeah.
And, like, very like positive and spiritually oriented. So she was like, oh, like, why can't you be Mao from everywhere? Because that's more like open. And I was like, yeah, but it's less sexy. So,
that is true.
You know.
Like you just for the streets, like you everywhere. You know what I mean? Okay, that makes sense. Now, we're gonna have to jump straight into it about you know, dropping your first ever album. I want to know how does the world feel post drop? Is it everything you imagined, or, you know, are you feeling a bit anxious still about how it's going to be received, how you're going to work, you know, from here?
The world feels exciting.
Yeah.
Strange. I'm definitely still anxious.
Yeah.
I think I expressed a lot. And it's now being heard and received.
Yes.
But I feel like it's one of the weird things about being an artist is like expressing things and not processing them. I just feel like a lot of my shit is out there.
Yeah.
And it's really nice and it's really like heartwarming to see people's reactions, but it's a bit strange to like have that be such a like intense part of myself. It's not like very public, and I don't really know where it leads, because I feel like, you know, if I was more, if it wasn't just me, or if I was maybe more like commercially oriented, it would have been like a balance of that and like something people can bop to, or something people can just like relate to in a way that doesn't feel like as much of a intense strain or draw from me. But like I'm definitely I'm excited. I think the anxiety comes from just you know, this came from a place where I was just me in my room by myself. So now it's like, if this goes anywhere, I'm not gonna just be in these rooms by myself. So I'm also concerned or curious about how that will affect myself moving forward, because I don't know if like, I guess you don't really know if this is the thing you want to like keep. I don't think I approach music like people who have this as like their ultimate goal, or you know, they're like why. I think for me, music just came at a time where I just needed to express a lot. So moving forward, I guess we'll see what that turns into.
Okay. Oh wow, thank you. That was a very thorough answer. I actually really appreciate that. So we've just got a comment that you might need to speak a bit louder into the mic. I'm not sure what's going on with the technical part. I'll
project.
Now, with the title, The Universe is Holding You, I thought that was a really incredibly stunning title. Who/what else do you feel like has held you during this artistic journey that you're on currently?
I feel like a mix of friends and family, definitely. People close to me who have just like, either it was like in the early stages, I think there was many times I wanted to quit. So there were a lot of friends who like were very persistent in pushing me to be like, yo, actually, like, you know, this is worth finishing. I think I don't as much as I don't open up about the fears of it as much to people as it affects me, but a lot of people pick up on it. And I think I really appreciate that. I think I'm very like nervous about including people into that, into like the behind the scenes, because it's very chaotic, and it's very like just me being a lot. So I think like I really appreciate the people who have been behind the scenes, or even just been a part of that process, from like, you know, people at my distributor to like my close friends, family. And I have a lot of like manicness that like appears behind the scenes. So I'm grateful that like people have tried to hold me down. That. And like, and my parents actually, like, you know, contrary to many parents, or even like, you know, in our culture, I feel like they have been super like, like, do this, we want to help you, we want to support you, we believe in this idea, like we want to hear this side of you. You spoke, and my sister, of course, who like gave the title as well, of course.
Oh wow, she came up with it.
So we had like small beef over this once, because she told me it over the phone, and I was like, oh, this is such a beautiful like phrase. And in every interview or whatever, I've always said that like she came up with the title. And then one day I told her like, oh yeah, my album is called The Universe is Holding You. Like, it was like a while ago. And she was like, yeah, actually I wanted to use that for something, but I'm gonna let you have this one. And I was like, okay, I appreciate you.
She let that one go.
I really need this one. So that was nice.
I kind of love that. So you spoke earlier about you know, the vulnerability that came with, you know, releasing such a project. Do you feel that maybe people have been invasive since you released it? You know, people are like in your business a little bit, or do you feel like, oh, people still respect my space and, you know, who I am as a creative, that kind of thing?
I mean, it varies.
Yeah.
I think that what's hard is like a lot of what's the word? So I noticed that just in the nature of making music that's like quite personal, it creates a connection.
Yes.
So like I think a lot of people feel connected to the music, which is amazing. And like that's what I would hope for. Even though like I don't think I make it with the intention of connecting with people. I think I just make it because I need to express this thing.
Yeah.
But it's strange to sometimes have people express a very personal connection to the music, and then by extension to me. And you know, if I see them in public, or if we just like run into each other, or even online, I mean, I welcome it, but I think I'm also just I've learned to become a bit more conscious of my bandwidth, because sometimes it then starts to feel like I have to facilitate that. I have to perpetuate that connection. Yeah. And I'm only like one person, so I can't really like I can't be to everyone what my music is to everyone. And I think that's something I'm learning now, because that's like a really slippery slope. And I think that it's tricky. Honestly, like one of the hardest things, high key, is that the music is like me in depth processing what I'm feeling. And I think it also means that people, in my mind, I think it exists, like there's an expectation of like who I am based on like what the music I make. Yep. If my music has held you, I'm also by extension someone who can and do and will. So like I feel like there are sometimes I'll meet people, or even just people like I either know loosely or whatever, like there's just this idea, and like I'm like, yo, like yes, this is my music for sure, but also like this is fucking music. Like, it's not just like me. On an interpersonal level, I feel like people are inherently flawed. So I'm learning to let myself be more flawed, even in those public interactions. And sometimes people get very upset.
I'm sure. It's just this whole like parasocial kind of, it's so weird, especially today, because, you know, with like media and, you know, this kind of persona that we've created online that is attached to our craft to a certain extent, because you do need to be out there and putting your stuff out there. I think people now think they can access you in a way that they wouldn't usually if they didn't have maybe that kind of social media thing going on. So no, exactly. And like I feel like what's weird sometimes too is like I'm like my tweets, which maybe we'll get onto at some point. Oh, we were definitely getting onto that.
Like I tweet in a way that's definitely like relatable. Yeah. But like in my mind, it's like a finsta, or like I'm tweeting this in a way that other artists may not, because I'm a natural externalizer, having sort of learnt to not internalize as much, and like it's gonna just be chaotic and like, but that doesn't necessarily mean that like this is what I want to talk about IRL, or like this is what I want to get into.
Good morning. Yeah. Wake it up.
Yeah. So I think that's the hard thing too, where it's like I think people have talked to me even like, oh yeah, like you know, like is this intentional? Like you have a really good Twitter personality, like, you know, you're really good at like relating to your fans. I'm like, no, I'm just like not okay. And like I've learned to do it in a funny way. Yeah. Because that's also how I cope. Yeah. Like, in my mind I'm like, this is funny, because like you have to laugh. Yeah. But then that's how people take it, and they're like, oh, like let's talk about this.
Yeah. Let's open up. Let's share. And it's like,
it's tricky.
Let's not. Yeah. No, but I feel this the same way. Like I'll tweet something or something crazy, and then like it's not even a stranger. Sometimes it'll be my friend who'll just text me on some, girl, why you ain't tell me? And I'm like, girl, I was just tweeting. Like I didn't think to hold that meeting at Chini. We discuss whatever Joy is tweeting about. So I completely understand why you'd feel the same. Now, love seems to be a very central theme throughout your project. There's this kind of you desire it, yet you're unsure of it. And I just want to know how you're able to capture such nuance throughout your work, because that's something that's definitely very, very evident in your projects.
About love?
Yeah, just love, this kind of need for it, but this unsure feeling of it.
Oh, God, okay. Yeah, love. I'm like very obsessed with love. I've come to realize, like, not even, I mean, like, both as like something that like I want, or like, you know, people naturally crave, but I think just as like a factor in how we operate.
Yeah.
In my mind, the key factor, because I think a lot of what we do is out of like a desire to give love or want to be loved. I think that the nuance has often come at those really difficult moments where you become very aware of yourself when it comes to love, or you at least have the choice to be, because shit hits you in a different way.
Yeah.
Like love is sort of a direct line to like our history as well as like our present, and like why we behave and feel the way we do. So I think that like what I often do with music is when I feel a way, and like a lot of the songs that I've written have come from this place of like I don't know, feeling like I'm like in a moment, either like a lot of the songs are written like in the middle of something romantic or post breakup, or like something that made me feel away because of like anything from like a death in the family to like missing a family member, or like wanting to love someone who doesn't necessarily isn't accessible, or like isn't able to like receive that. Yeah, it just sort of like I'll start with the feeling, and then I'll kind of just dig. So like I'll dig into like what it makes me feel, what I'm, you know, thinking about the other person. And then I think sorry, I have this, I don't know if it's an actual term, but I like to use it.
Go on.
Called emotional excavation.
Okay.
And in my mind, it's like the more you dig and like kind of just start to unearth things, like the whole picture becomes clear. In the same way, like you're like an archaeologist will maybe like find a bone, and then only through like years and years and years of like that unearthing will they see the whole sort of like fossil or skeleton. I think these parts are all connected to other parts, so I'll follow that rabbit hole, and then I think it'll lead me to end up telling stories or linking to things in my past. And I'm just really fascinated by how love affects us, because it's a thing that connects us most, and I think that's like significant. So in those I think that's also maybe why people relate to it in that way, because everyone's felt that either pain or joy in some way. Even
on the topic of like the duality of love, there is also throughout this project specifically this desire to be loved, and then your fear of being perceived as well. So would you credit that to like the hyper awareness we have as a generation, or do you think that's like a personal thing for you?
I think it's both.
I
think like I'm a very like scared person. I don't often like present it or address it, but like I think there's definitely like, because I'm very mutable, and I'm very
you said mutable
like I'm talking in astrology terms again.
Good.
So like no, I'm adjustable. I think like, okay, so I know that growing up, a lot of my early socialization was built on like reading and then adjusting, and I think that I've learned how to do that in ways that work for me and other people, but like I still do it to a degree that like it's easy to lose sight of myself. So I think like I'm aware that with love there's an honesty involved that requires you to just like be yourself. And yourself is not something that you can like perform. It's just something that you are. And I think that I'm almost jealous sometimes, because I don't think I'm very good at that. I think like I'll be my I actually I know that in every situation I'm in, or most situations I'm in, it's very rare for me to find a time when I'm not thinking about how I'm acting or behaving. And I think that has something to do with like my fear of self, or like being in a way that like will then hurt someone else.
Yeah.
So I think that like I've gotten very good at analysis in terms of like what someone's feeling, what I'm feeling, how to synthesize the two in a way that like makes everyone happy and digestible.
Yeah.
But like being myself is still very tricky. So I've definitely learnt in the past and present, like there's a very there's a fear, because I know that like the times where I feel like I'm being myself can receive mixed reviews, but that's the nature of self, right? Like you can't control that, and you also can't control how someone reacts to that. But I've found a lot of protection in adjusting, and so I think that as much as I want or I crave that intimacy and love, like I'm very aware that like when I don't adjust, part of me is afraid that like it will prohibit that love from being there. Yeah.
That's so interesting, and I feel like I relate to that to a very large extent. Just the shifting and like donning, different caps depending on who you're around, or whatever it is you're expected to be at the time, and it can be very disorienting and exhausting. So I completely understand that, and I don't know, I feel like existing as like the myriad of things that you are can also be slightly like confusing, because there's Mao the rapper, and then there's Mao the homeboy, and then there's also Mao the son, and there's Mao the and there's all of these things that you have to kind of accommodate, and it can be really exhausting. So I guess I'm saying all this to just say, take it easy on yourself.
You're right.
That I understand, because I think I've experienced that for a very long time, just having to like be like this with this people and being like this and just hiding yourself. So yeah, but I think eventually you just, I don't know, you have to really sit down and be like, is this what you want? Really? Truly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, the one thing is hard.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like there's a very, what's the word? It can be perceived as selfish. And at times it will be selfish, or like you can't control how people react to it. So like, but like I think there's a very, like saying what you want is, and like if you do it in a way that fully honors yourself, I feel like it's inevitably gonna have repercussions. Especially when it's based on like things that affect other people. But I get you. Like I think that's like a thing that we all need to learn at a certain point. And like my mom always tells me, like when I tell about the conversations I'm having with like my friends or like my partner, like she'll just be like, yo, these are conversations I didn't have till I was 40.
Wow.
Because I didn't feel like I was allowed to say what I want. Or at least like I wasn't comfortable in myself enough to voice it. But yeah, I'm really trying to, it's always going to be a balance, but I think like I'm really trying to, if not always vocalize, at least know what I want. Yeah. And it's a journey. So I mean, you can't get to where you want to be today. You just gotta keep working at it. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Now, I had to do it in the Swahili accent because I have to rep my people from back home. For the people who are tuning in and they don't know what that means, do you mind explaining what it means and why it's significant to you?
Yeah, for sure. It's so it's a proverb, like Methali, like my dad is very much big on sayings.
Yeah.
Kenyan parents. Yo, for real. Like he loves, like I love telling, like I'll give him like a paragraph about how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
He'll give me like a one-liner. Like a just take it easy. And then sometimes when he feels like, okay, this is the perfect time, like he'll bring out like the proverbs.
Yeah.
So
of course.
I feel like it was these times. I think I was in New York. I was in uni, and I was just like so confused. I think I was going through like like the end of like the longest relationship I've had, and also just a big shift because I had gone to study film, but now I was veering into music, and I hadn't really told anyone in my family yet. But he was always very much like, he knows how impatient I am, and like patience is something that like I've been practicing a lot, or trying to, but like I'm a naturally impatient person because I'm also just like so like when I was a kid I was just super hyperactive, like to the point where my parents were like, okay, we need professional help, and so like I've learned to convert that into internal energy, but it still manifests in impatience.
What does internal energy look like? Like,
it's just, I mean, it's not on the surface, but like when it comes to, I think it reflects mostly on myself. Like I will be very impatient with myself as far as like what I need to do, where I should be, the kind of person I want to be, the kind of lessons I need to learn, but also just being proactive in whatever I do. And so he was like one day like, you're like just little by little fills the pot, which is haba just give baba. And then I was like, it was a song that I wrote when I was just like mad confused about life. At the time I was working for a studio, and I was like doing their BTS videos, but I was also making beats for their BTS videos.
Oh damn.
And it was just like I had an added plus. I wasn't legally allowed to work, but what I did was I worked, and they would pay me with like studio time, so I could use the studio whenever I wanted to. It was very dope. But I made that beat for a video for them, and so like they just needed a BTS video, and I was like, okay, like let me just fuck around and I made it, and I was like, wait, this is kind of hard.
Sickening,
and then I think I was on the way to work, and I wrote like pretty much the whole song, just like in a moment of like extreme externalization, like, oh man, because the song is really about like nothing in particular. It's just like a long rant. There's no verse to chorus. It's just words. So that's kind of where it came from. Do you have any other favorite Kiswahili sayings, or do you know? Off the top of my head right now, I can't tell you.
No. My mom would always tell me this one: Nyani haoni kundule. Which means a monkey doesn't see its own ass. So basically, like, you know, you like to point out other people's shit, but baby, you got your own shit going on.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And everybody looking at your ass, and you looking at somebody else's ass.
Actually.
So
actually, I have one.
Go on.
I'm gonna say this wrong. I think kupotea njia ndiko kujua njia.
Okay. I think that's I don't know but I know. I mean,
I get the essence. What I read was to lose the way is to find the way.
That sounds like something Luco would say.
Real shit. I like the monkey can't see its own ass though, because I do think that like we really can't see our shit until someone points it out for us. So,
we tend to get a bit sensitive still, but we gotta learn to.
I've been not even self-identify. I have been identified by many people I'm very close to as a marshmallow.
What does that mean?
It's just like soft and fragile, but also just like squishy. And like,
you actually give marshmallow. Now that you said that, even just like the whole vibe is marshmallow right now.
Giving marshmallow.
It's giving marshmallow, very much so. Would you say that, even just like with your friends and stuff like that, you're friends with Maya, Lanzi, just the whole crew and stuff. Would you say that their community has provided you like some sort of grounding, some sort of safe space?
Definitely. Definitely. I think like, we, like I didn't really have like a friend group ever before, like at least to this capacity. Like we kind of came here on different paths, and like I'd known Maya for a while, and then we we were just like best friends for the longest time, and it was really lovely to like come back and be like, okay, like this person's here. And then we kind of just started percolating and meeting other people, like and I think it's been amazing to have a group of like-minded individuals and artists that has grown so much too. And like,
of course,
my favorite thing too is like start to bring in my friends who I feel like are creatively inclined or like artists but aren't necessarily as vocal about it, and everyone can be quite welcoming to that, but overall, I just think it's like, it's really great to feel like you're not doing this alone.
Yeah.
And then when specific things come up in regards to that, it's nice to know that there are people who like, you don't have to explain as much to, you don't have to like feel like you're tiptoeing when you address it. Like I think with Maya especially, like we started making music together on some very extremely lo-fi shit. Like, you know, it was like a USB mic in her living room. Whoa. Looking for a cable. Like it was like not like studio was not even a word that like came up. And then we would just put it on SoundCloud and we'd be like, oh yo, making music, this is sick. We'd make some dope things together. Like and then coming back and now, you know, like she released a project, I released a project. Now we're like, okay, we're working towards careers as artists, and then we've had a really beautiful sort of mirrored growth in some ways. Yeah. And it's been great to be able to check in with someone who like can understand parts of it, especially when it comes to the social dynamics, because like we I think sometimes I especially feel like very crazy or ridiculous when it comes to complaining or like feeling a ways about how the social side of being a musician affects me. I think a lot of the times when you say it, it comes across or can come across as like ungrateful or like, you know, you're flexing or etc. I'm here genuinely like just overwhelmed or confused because I didn't foresee it being like this happening, at least this quickly, or at the very least like being a thing that like happens in person. I was much more, and I like making that distinction between like you know, I make music as Mao from nowhere, but like I still introduce myself as Kamau. Like I've never introduced myself or like tried to be like, oh, I like, you know, if I meet someone like at a cafe or something, I'm like, hi, I'm Mao. I'm just like, no, it's not the name my parents gave me, or like, you know, used to yell at me like so I but then it's like, you kind of have to engage with this really amazing listenership and an audience, but they know you in a certain way. And I think when it first started, it was amazing to have a best friend who like could be like, yeah, no, you're not crazy. Like this is a lot. Like, it's great, but like it's a lot. And navigating this industry is a lot, and we are here to lean on each other when it comes to all of this stuff.
That's beautiful. Now, you recently collaborated with, and were the only collaboration on Maui Moon's project, the one and only. Every time I talk about Maui Moon, I get so hyped because I just think he's like,
I get it. He's
really that guy.
He's really that guy.
He really is.
He really is.
So I wanted to know, why is it important to you to establish, you know, connections that are across the network? You know, why is that something that you're interested in doing and you're intentional about?
I feel like we're just we're all trying to do the same thing, or like similar things. And I think it's really one of those, like, you know, you can go far alone or go fast alone or far together. And I mean, honestly, when it first came to be, like, the connection with Maui Moon was so casual. Like, I hit him up.
Had you heard his stuff?
Yeah, so like I heard it was actually his production first.
Oh shit.
On the Tangaza compilation.
Oh, okay.
And then I hit him up, and I was just like, or like I responded to a comment or something, but we just ended up talking on DMs, and I was like, yo, you're fucking sick. And then, you know, I followed him, showed love, and I was like, I'd love to work with him and other producers, because I know that like I'm good at making my sound, but like there's really a lot of sounds I want to explore, and he captured a certain energy and essence so well. I was like, yo, let me dip into that. And the craziest part was, like, he was like, yo, I have a song in mind. It was Sweeter. And he sent me the fucking it was so wild. He sent me the song, and I didn't know he sang. So I was flabbergasted. I was like, what is going on? Like, he sent me the song. I was like, yo, this is your voice. I was literally asking, like, who's singing? And he's like, yeah, this is me. And I'm like, that's insane.
Let me tell you, the first time I heard Sweeter, I knew for a fact that it was a babe singing. I knew. That wasn't even a question in my mind. And I'm looking for the babe. I'm looking for the artist, the name of the artist, so I can, like, you know, get into this girl that's like singing their heart out. then I'm seeing a nigga.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn. It's really not a like whoa.
It's really nuts.
Yeah.
And like he's like, it was so like soft and sweet, and I was just like, in my mind, the first thing, like, I didn't want to say it because I wanted to be on the song, but I was like, what do you need me for? Like, what am I supposed to add to this? And I immediately was like, okay, I can't rap because that's a cop out. And then the other hard thing too is like, sometimes people will like send me or like want me to partake in like sexy songs.
Yeah.
Which I love doing and I'm better at doing now.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm a person who like is like consciously not very good at that. Like being sexy consciously. I feel like if I do it unconsciously, I'm chilling.
Yeah.
Like and that's kind of how it should come up, but then like in a way, I don't know, like musically I was just so deep in like I'm talking my feelings back, so like I didn't get around to making songs about like sexy things.
That's you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I got the song, I was like, okay, come on, don't make this weird. Don't be the nigga in the corner.
The pep talk is crazy. Like, don't make this weird.
I was literally just like, don't be weird. Like, don't get this beat that's like super like sultry and like, you know, and
then talking about like J. Cole, the police brutality and
like
things.
The fucking what's that song? Come Through and Chill, like, which is a wild. It's like the sexiest beat, and then it's Miguel. And then J. Cole's like, girl, you got me think about Kaepernick kneeling. I'm like, you just ruined all the work that went into this.
Stop it.
I'm so shocked Miguel recorded that. But anyway, we move.
I mean, who's going to tell J. Cole no? You know, like, really though. Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, it was like, I think post that, because I mean, after that, actually, I got a chance to, actually, was it before or after? I think it might have been before. But like, so the first time I went to UG was because of Mwami. And I met him in New York, and he was just, we made a song together, and he was like, yo, like, we're doing this expression show. At that time I was working, and I was literally just like, okay, I'm spending my paycheck on coming to UG to like work with, to do this, because it was a show, and I was like, I feel so creatively starved. I want to just like go outside and do something. And then it was on that trip that I got to meet Maui Moon in person. So I think it was just after Sweeter, and like we actually got a chance to be in the studio, all of us, and like make songs. So it was a really, that to me opened my eyes, because I was in Kampala and I was just like, yo, there's like a whole amazing scene here that like is doing very similar things to what we're trying to do. So why the distance? And since then I've been way more like receptive and open to just any sort of collaboration. So like recently it's been dope to like collaborate with a lot of West African artists. I got to do a song with Sebastian for like the drama compilation. There's an amazing producer, Lambskin, out of Lagos, who I made some songs with, and also just opened me up to like do other dope shit in terms of like writing and working with other artists. So I'm in a big mood of like, I mean, especially since I've just dropped an album, I'm not trying to make too much more music for me. I'm in a big mood of like, who else can I work with and connect with? Like, who's neighbored? I guess,
yeah, that's beautiful. Now you have a pretty solid social media presence that we said we were gonna get into, Jay. It's a good question. The first one. Let's do it. As someone who, you know, you're very cryptic, relatable, funny, and down to earth, do you find that knowing how to navigate social media is crucial when pursuing a creative career?
Like being able to, I think it is very important.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't. Like, I really think it's, as much as it's a great tool, it's like not easy for everyone to access. In terms of just like literally internet wise, but also just bandwidth. Like, I think it's like, it's hard to ask everyone to be able to like be as open or expressive, especially when it's such a overwhelming medium. So whether that's Twitter or Instagram, like, it's just hard to try and access or address everything. And I think that like I found my way because it's a mix of like I joined social media when it first started, but like I was just I was on bullshit. Like, I wasn't even doing it. Like I used to be a photographer, so like I when
did social media start? Sorry, like
that's such a broad statement. Let me clarify.
Like, what?
Let me clarify. I think I remember getting the Instagram app when it was still that like old
the
retro.
brown.
Exactly.
Okay, I was there as well.
And I was just like, I was very much just sharing random shit.
Yeah.
But I was interested in like how different images and unique images connect with people differently.
Yeah.
As far as Twitter goes, I joined Twitter at first. So I was just curious, like, oh, everyone's talking about this website. Let me try it out. I didn't get it at first at all. I think I only started to get it really during college.
Okay.
Because I just started like listening more and like seeing the things people were saying that were funny or interesting or whatever, or relatable.
Yeah.
And then I think like it was only I think it was at some point. Honestly, like it's very much, it always comes down to me, at least with Twitter, which is like I think my most successful platform.
I think so too. Yeah.
It's like Twitter was very much like I started tweeting, like I let my intrusive thoughts win, essentially.
Yeah.
I just started tweeting.
I mean, it's Twitter.
It's Twitter,
yeah.
Exactly. And to me, it was just like, no one's going to like pay attention to this shit because I'm just saying random shit.
Yeah.
So like I would just leave a party and feel away and tweet about it. Or I'd be really depressed and I'd tweet about it. And I would just like, that continued until I started. And I think I'm always someone who like, I don't know. It's very, at Twitter at least, on like social media, like I know that like it's a place ultimately of presentation.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you're talking about, like you have to dress it up in a certain way, or at least there's a pressure to.
Yeah.
But I think because of how I process things with humor, like Twitter became a space where I could just be like, this is like fucked but funny, whether that's about me or like other things. And then so I just started saying random shit, and then people started responding to it more so than my music actually for a while. Like I think people actually were like, oh, you say funny like dark shit, oh, you make music, sick. But I mean I hope people can find a way to use those tools for themselves, but I think that like I think at the end of the day it's good to have somewhat of an understanding of how it can help you. I don't think everyone needs to form a personality around it, but I think that like it can be useful, especially when you're independent.
Now, speaking of Twitter, you've become pretty famous on there for writing bars that emulate our very favorite celebrity, bad bitch, El Draco.
Oh my God.
You know,
Aubrey
Graham. Wow. But you've also been very, like, pretty critical of him as well. So I want to know here and now, Kamau, what is your stance on Drake?
My stance on Drake?
Safe space. Speak your truth.
Man.
Speak your truth. Sticky. If we play Sticky right now, you'll know all the lyrics.
Absolutely. But like the thing about Drake, like Drake to me is like he's
an enigma.
He's like so. I mean, to me, it's like fun to experience. But also like very problematic. And I don't think he's like. I don't know. Drake to me is fascinating because I'm also like, I actually don't know who you are. Like I think I don't have a clear handle on. I know who Drake presents as. I don't know who he is as a person. And maybe as an artist, I just shouldn't know. Or like him being an artist, he should keep that to himself. But it's just very fascinating to see how Drake operates, and like. I think that because it has such a mainstream wide appeal, you know, like anything, you just kind of want to study it and be like, why do people respond the way they do to this? Like you know, it could be AI or Friends. Like I'm very curious as to why people care about things. When it came to Drake, I was talking shit, and I was also just like mad interested because I'm like he'll spit some shit and I'll be like, I feel this, or like this is hitting, and then so like when it came to the like the Drake parody buzz, I was just so fascinated to be able to write like Drake, because in my mind
you nail it. Like you nail it every time I see that picture of Drake just like this
writing,
and it's a tweet from you, I'm like, I'm about to have a really good time reading this.
It's like, I really feel bad to say this, and I hope he doesn't pick up this interview in years in case I meet him, but I'm like, it's not hard. I'm just gonna say this for free, like it's not hard. In the same way, like I don't think it's that hard.
It's giving Rupi Kaur.
It's a little. It's like it's kind of like, it's Rupi Kaur-esque. But it sort of hits that perfect. I think the reason, my theory is that Drake, like, because I don't think emotional Drake and flex Drake are very different people. I feel like they both connect with people because they're the parts of ourselves that are emotionally underdeveloped but still want to like be heard. So he'll say some shit that sounds petty, but everyone's petty, or everyone feels like they want to be petty.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm just like fascinated by that. I'm just like, oh yeah, like that's. And then when I start to like make the fake jingle, I'm like, yeah, of course, like he would say that.
Yeah.
He would say that. It's like, how do you say like something personal and flex at the same time as you're saying something petty? Like put those all into one bar. Like yeah, that's Drake.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say, I don't know how to put it. I used to say Drake is a necessary evil. I don't know if I can say that anymore.
No.
Yeah.
No ethical consumption of Drake, as Ma would say. And you've mentioned before that you're pretty into astrology. As a Gemini sun,
yep.
What do the words answering texts within a decent time frame mean to you?
Like all,
throwing a bit of shade
like
there.
all or most Gemini things, it's a duality.
Yeah.
Like honestly, and like my close friends or like, like partners or past partners will attest to this. Like I can do either.
Yeah.
I think my natural inclination is like if I'm in that space, I will respond immediately.
Yeah.
Like, and some of my friends have told me like, yo, you pick up the phone faster than anyone else. Or, like, you respond like mad quick.
That is true, actually. The phone call thing.
But like at the same time, like I'm so distracted constantly. So that, like if I get a text at the same time as I'm washing dishes, I might not text you till like tomorrow. Or like I might end up being preoccupied. So like the Gemini thing is weird with that because we're very mercurial and we're very manic and impatient. So it's like a mix of like, oh, I'm gonna text you back right now. Yeah. And then I'm gonna catch a feeling if you don't text me back. Yeah. Or I'm gonna text you back in 3 days. Yeah. I'd be like, yo, so life got in the way slightly. Yeah. So it's interesting. I think that, and also we double text bigly. Like I will send like 4 texts in a row.
Oh yeah. I think that's just actually an air sign thing.
Yeah, big time.
Because I feel everything you're saying right now. Yeah. Like I will dead ass, and I'll just be like, my friends, like my good friends, know that it really just doesn't mean like anything, and I love them, and I'll get back to them. But sometimes it's frustrating because when you're like forming a friendship or like you're talking to someone that you don't really talk to, and they feel away, and I'm like, listen, I really am trying my hardest to respond to this as soon as possible, but sometimes things just get in the way, and I genuinely think I have ADHD as well. So it's like that's just gonna intervene with everything. So it is what it is. It's just an air something. I feel like. Now your fashion aesthetic is very dad core. Yep. As we like to call it here. Is that because you see yourself as one in the future? Maybe, I don't know. Ooh. I feel like we should subvert. Ask the men about fatherhood. Oh yeah, no more asking women about motherhood. Oh no, for sure. We're changing the narrative.
I saw this like Succession tweet.
Yes.
It was like I love the shift narrative, but like I hate how like motherhood is the final boss once again. And I was like, yeah, that's a word.
It's a snore.
It's a snore, yeah.
They need to up and bloop that chair. I'm not because I'm tired. Like she needs to release herself from that. She needs to yeet the
fetus delete.
The feet.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's tired. Anyway, sorry. The fatherhood thing.
It's a good question though. Like, I have like big dad energy. I've been told.
Yes.
It's a mix. So like, honestly, fashion sense, I won't even lie. A lot of my clothes are like from my dad, just because.
There you go.
Yeah. So like that answers part of the question. Like a lot of key items of clothing. Yeah. I took into like my 20s in college. Was just like I remember going to like my dad's closet and being like, rah, there's like so much shit here like he just doesn't use. And then I just kind of kept it going. I like buying new clothes. I've bought new clothes more here. Yeah. Because like I have like it's easier, it's cheaper. Like I have like thrift plugs that I trust. Yeah. Shout out Luca. But like at the same time, I also feel like I like being comfortable above being I'm like, I love throwing a fit, like getting a fit off, but also like comfort is the key. Yeah. And dads are trying to be comfy. Yeah. But on the note of like fatherhood, like I come to terms with it, but like I definitely really do want to like be a dad. It's a weird dichotomy of like, personally, I don't know if I feel fully comfortable bringing a child into this world the way shit's going. Oh. Like, it's a fucking mess. It's a fucking mess. I don't know if I given the opportunity, would have like wanted to necessarily like
be here,
knowing what was laying in the future.
I feel that
we are here now.
Yeah.
But I feel like getting a kid, I mean, I don't know, I just think like there's a part of me that is very I enjoy that nurturing side.
Yeah.
And like I feel like when you're a parent is like one of the only spaces where like that's like your only job. I don't know how to put it, but it's like it's like not even in the sense that like it's the only thing you have to do. It's more in the sense of like, and this is a fucked up thing to say, I don't know if my parents would agree with this. I don't think that your child owes you anything.
Say that again, please.
I don't think your child owes you anything.
Because I'm there.
Yeah.
I'm there.
I think that like if I was to have a child, I would just like to me it's like I'm literally here to like make your life better.
Yeah.
And like that's that to me is like not what like all love is, but like it's a specific expression of love that like I think in a way I look forward to, or like I would want to have, is just to be able to like have something exist, and it's terrifying, but just be like, yo, like I exist to like for you and yeah, okay. Now your focus right now is music, but OG fans know that the first video you ever dropped was actually a short film. Yes.
Clean Water.
Yes.
Which explored your upbringing, your culture, your parents, and everything like that. So I want to know, is that something that you see yourself returning to filmmaking, or like do you want to explore other mediums eventually as well? Definitely return to. I think that like it was like my first big artistic love. Yeah. To the point where I was like, I want to pursue this. Yeah. I think film is one of the beauties of film is like it's an amalgamation of all of the different art forms. Yes. Because you kind of have to create this world in real time in video, and like so you'll need everything from like art direction to styling to people to music to all that stuff, and like Clean Water was very inward, which felt safer because I didn't have to like consult necessarily, or like feel like, okay, like I don't want to like tell someone's story incorrectly because it's just mine. Yeah. I think I was really happy with how it turned out, but I think the reception, even though it was good, kind of intimidated me and made me feel like I have to now be able to like, level up. And leveling up in anything is hard, but in film especially, oh my fucking god, terrified. Like so, your pockets are done. Literally, your pockets are done. Your mind is gone. Done. Yeah. And I'm super great. Like right now, I feel like I have like, I still have a strong film community, like back in the States or whatever, but also like one of my best friends, Musilla, like of course, shout out Moose. He's a filmmaker and he's in film school right now, and like he really kind of, we bonded over that a lot, and I think that like even in just as like being a part of some of his work, or like just watching him work, I think is pushing me a lot more into like knowing that like I want to like get back into this. Yeah. Because it's just work in the most like exhausting sense, like and like it's work involving other people in all aspects. Like at least in music, like I can just make a song entirely myself, and then everything else involves people. But with film, it's like you need actors, producers, like assistant scriptwriters, etc. Like you need all of the people. You need all hands on deck from the jump. Yeah. And I think that that's something that scares me, but like it's been good to see that it's possible. Yeah. Again. Yeah. Yeah. Now you've talked about having like an established community, a film community in the US, and within the next 2 weeks you're going to actually be traveling to the UK. Yeah. Leaving us fellow Sakajans here. That's out the fucking bag. So how do you plan to spend your time there? Are you excited? Are you anxious? How are you feeling about this new step in your journey? I'm excited, but I'm nervous. Yeah. I feel like ever since I've committed, or like, the ticket's been booked, or like I'm just, there's like a part of me that feels like every time I leave my apartment, like I feel like I'm like about to, you get a feeling before you board a flight, which is both excitement and nervousness depending on where you're going. Yes. I feel like there's a part of me that definitely feels like I'm jumping into a shift and like a different part of my life. In terms of what I want to do there, I think that's also a scary part because I don't have clear answers. Like
I really wish sometimes like I had very clear big dreams in music at least. Like I could be like, yeah, like I want to, in 5 years time I want to be on this stage. But like I genuinely like, I think I'm more so just going there to see what this could lead to. I'm very go with the flow, but like work on the flow. Like you're building the boat as you sail it. So I'm just excited to see what a different horizon could bring. And like I think one thing that's been really encouraging, at least when I was there last, was seeing how many artists in a similar vein to me are like open to collaboration, even if they're like in a more established way or like and I guess I'm just looking for a change of pace, because at the end of the day, like your life is going to influence your art, and I'm someone who likes perspective. So getting different perspective is going to be good. Okay,
I'm excited. Yes, you may. We're actually halfway through We're halfway through the show, and and we're going to be having shot o'clock very, very, very soon. So we're just gonna do a quick shot and get on with the rest of the interviews. So that's the end of our questions. Actually, that's just a really quick segment that we've done. We're going to go on to the ATL section, that is annotate the lyric, and we're just going to be discussing a couple of Kamau's lyrics, and he's going to explain to us what they meant and what he was going through at the time. So yeah, we'll just wait for him to come right back, and we will see him in a second. I guess I could actually play you guys music in the meantime.
Left me in the shadows of your mind tonight. Killing me softly, but it's not a crime, away. Let me wander, in the end I'll always find you. I will find you. Let's keep going just until we find daylight. No, I'm not lost, this is a perfect timing night. Let me wander, in the end I'll always find you. I will find you. Come on board, take a ride. My train of thoughts goes off the tracks and gets you high. Your wicked stare, you make me shy. Corners of my mouth keep breaking into smiles. Ways to play it safe, ain't working in this game, I wanna stay. Avoiding killer pain, but since you came it all just goes away. Babe, just come on board and take a ride. Trust me, I'ma catch you on the other side. Left me in the shadows of your mind tonight. Killing me softly, but it's not a crime, away. Let me wander, in the end I'll always find you. I will find you. Let's keep going just until we find daylight. No, I'm not lost, this is a perfect timing night. Let me wander, in the end I'll always find you. I will find you.
Really, my killy. Me nigga know my niggas, and you know they always down to ride. Anybody that's fucking with me, guaranteed to make it to the place beyond the pines. Me, I always read between the lines. Anywhere you need me, you can find. Guaranteed to be the one you cry. It was just you and I, posted in Nairobi on the coldest night. Now I'm in my bag with it and I clutch it tight. Cause when you think they won't, that's when they just might. Rolling Latins, black like dynamite. And a wolf in them come alive in the night.
Left me in the shadows of your mind tonight. Killing me softly, but it's not a crime, away. Let me wander, in the end I'll always find you. I will find you. Let's keep going just until we find daylight. No, I'm not lost, this is a perfect timing night.
That was Foundry by our one and only Maya Amolo and Kalanzi. So check that out. That's actually one of my favorite songs ever, really. I'm really excited to get into the rest of the interview with you guys and with Kamau. There's a couple questions here that are a bit crazy, but it's going to be fun to ask still, because that's what we do here on Radio 254, Late Night Thoughts with El Chi. So I hope you guys are still tuned in. If you want, you can still be, you can tweet using the hashtag Late Night Thoughts with El Chi, tag myself at BlackJPG or Radio 254. There's also a questions thing on my Instagram, so if you want to check that out and ask a couple questions, I am refreshing my page, so we're getting your questions as we go. We have a few already on call, and I'm excited to get into the rest of them. So I hope you guys are still with us. Kamau will be joining us in literally just a minute. So I think they're playing Bend It now. Who's they? It's me. It's me. Okay, we're playing Bend It now.
More than you're bargaining for. Show me something more for I show you the door.
Girl, nah. You don't know, baby, that I'm that guy. Real doesn't believe. Give me that wine for a minute or two, yeah.
Boy, I'ma call your bluff. Chillin' in the background, please don't front. Just take it easy, and I might just throw it back for you. Just the way I do, twist and turn like a hula hoop.
Just bend it like you do, yeah. Bend it for me like the way you do. Twist and turn like a hula
hoop. I'm glad you came over.
Now you're glad that I came over. Hey. What you doing when the party's over? Wanna take you to my rover. Make you say I do when you bend.
Baby, please, you
Alright guys, that was Bend It by Maya Joshua Baraka for the Tangaza compilation, and Soul Child as well, who's an amazing producer from Uganda. We are back and at it with Kamau Wainana, guys, Ma from Nowhere, and we've just gotten past our halfway mark, so we are going to be doing quick shot o'clock. What's your preferred alcohol, Mao? Do you have like one of those, or are you just vibing?
I feel like if it's a shot, it's tequila.
Yes. Tequila is actually it.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah,
it's controversial, but I stand by it.
How about what else? If it's not a shot, if it's like a cocktail, what do you...
Cocktail? I've actually become more like partial to gin cocktails.
Okay.
I think it's like, I think it's a mix of like, Nairobi's influence, but also just my taste becoming more refined. But like I used to like be anti-gin, but I grew into like appreciating a good G&T and other such things.
Yeah.
When it's just sipping a liquor straight, I really like whiskey, honestly.
God,
I'm not gonna lie.
Not the whiskey.
Whiskey with some ice. Listen.
You are a dad.
I am.
You really are. Like, I can't sip on whiskey. Whiskey's like, the one that I'm just like,
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm in it too deep. I also come from like a family of like, not writers, but like they love the good whiskey brooding vibes.
God damn. I gotta join your family.
My dad's a Scorpio, so.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, we will cheers. Our little shot here. Eyes, as per usual.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know why I put so much in the cup. That was kind of fucking insane of me.
We'll just well raised shot, man. That was like
that shot didn't lack shit in life, bro.
Oh my god.
Anyway, we're gonna go into our Java shots and then we'll jump into the rest of the. Do we do the ice thing as well? I think Maya said we did. So cheers.
Much better.
Yeah, I kind of like the not so sugary one. We were talking about this earlier with Lanzi and Mao, and how we preferred, well, I do anyway, the non-sugary Java over the sugary Java. I don't know, the sugary Java just gives me like, let's get kind of kunya to juice, And I'm like, it's nice and cute, but I want to feel like,
you want to feel the earth, the vegetation.
Exactly. Exactly. You get it. Anyway, we're going to go into our next segment, ATL, annotate the lyric. Yeah. Okay. This is actually a fan favorite. I wasn't sure that, it would work, but people seem to really enjoy it. So
I'm into it. Let's go.
Yeah, I pick out a lyric that I've chosen already.
Okay.
Say it to you. It's one of yours, and you're gonna explain what you were going through at the time.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
What was happening when you were writing this? The vibes.
Lord.
Let's get into it.
Okay.
I do not feel empty. I feel less than half now. That is from Here If You Need on your new album.
Oh, man. Wow. Okay, so that's a good one because I actually haven't thought about that song in a while.
Okay.
I feel like it is... I mean, I wrote the song... It was the first inspiration was just like, I guess, trying to comfort a friend of mine who had like lost someone. And then I feel like it kind of spiraled into just a general check-in for myself in the midst of it, because I was very like, it was during like quarantine, and I was like,
okay,
I was at my place, but I was also like partly in my like girlfriend space at the time, and I just felt like I was very in between. And I knew that like there was a very strict countdown to when I was leaving or getting kicked out of the state, so I was just kind of like, I do not feel empty. I feel less than half now. I
thought that was brilliant, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was actually just like it was like a volume check about like where I'm at, and how like there's, I don't know, like I had written a lot of songs about like, or being in that space where you actually do feel like depleted. I think Here If You Need has a bit of more like oomph and energy to it, because I wasn't necessarily like done, but I was like, okay, like I'm losing. Like this fight is hard. Like, this moment is really hard. And I'm half full. I'm less than half full right now.
Half full,
as I try and like, as much as I try and like speak to what I'm feeling and the positives that are coming out of it and the growth of who I am. Like I was like, I need to, if I'm gonna be like strong in this moment, I also need to acknowledge how weak I am.
How about I try to touch it, but I feel the chill. Happy it hurts, so that I know that it's real.
Ooh,
Ghost.
Big post breakup lyrics.
Okay,
vibes.
Okay.
Ghost. Yeah, it was just like, I try to touch it, but I feel the chill. I think that's like that's very much like a relatable thing when it comes to conflict within relationships or partnerships. Like there's a subject, or there's the person, or there's just the thing, the very thick I don't want to say elephant in the room, but like the feeling in the room that you're both probably feeling in some way, but like feeling differently, and like are struggling to like meet yourselves there, and like trying to then prod it, because I'm someone who like would not just be able to like exist with it as easily. Like I'll like try and press, and so like I think that moment was just like, I try to touch it, but I feel it shows like I'm trying to address this thing, but like it just feels like every time I do, I feel colder. We feel colder. And then the fact that hurts lets me know that like this is something significant, or like this is something real.
Yeah. I used to dream in grain color 35. Now I'm just trying to stay alive.
Oh, fuck.
That fucked me up, bro. God. I remember listening to that. I was like, oh my goodness. This just like encapsulates everything that I'm feeling right now. Especially because like, I think, wait, why am I explaining things? Sorry, you go.
No, keep going.
No, I think because I was coming out of, I think I just released like my second film, and like people were like, oh, when's the next film gonna come out? And I just felt so depleted in that way, and I didn't want to return to this medium, and I haven't returned to it just yet, because I feel like it's very close to me, and there's so much that I dream about like in grandiose when I see myself in the filmmaking world, but because it's like it's so huge, it feels really far away sometimes. And because, you know, being a creative in Kenya and trying to basically make it on a day-to-day basis and having the resources, lacking the resources that you need. So when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, this is me. So yeah. What were you going through at the time when you wrote that?
I mean, like that's I'm glad it resonated, first of all, but also I think it does come down to like a mentality or like and that plays into like resources heavily, because like I think dreaming, and in that sense dreaming like in color, is like an abundance mentality that you have, which is really beautiful when you're in that good creative space. You're like, I can do anything, like anything is possible. Like, and like with photography, especially when I started doing film photography, it felt like I was capturing a version of life that like I liked to believe life was or could be. And so I think I was kind of me referencing times when like I felt super not even creatively, but just like energized with life. Like I used to be very like, I used to daydream. I used to think like, you know, life could be better than movies. I knew movies are fake, but I wanted to see how we could make life better. And I think when I wrote our favorite songs, I remember, because I was in Kampala, I was like still happy that I was doing you know, music things for a change. I was still working and trying to balance that, but I generally just felt like like this is a good time, but like the days still feel like I'm like pushing, and I just come out of like a really difficult time mental health wise, I guess, when like everyone in my family was just like checking on me, like, and I was not used to that, because I was very much used to being like the person who's making sure everyone else is okay, because like someone else needs help and I'm like trying to like manage that. And then like I came back to Kenya and like I was like, everyone was like, okay, yo, Kamau's like not okay. And like so like the whole family focus shifted, and like Kampala was like the first time where my parents were like, oh, yo, you're like actually able to do, you're doing your thing. But I was still like, fuck, like I'm not now like I'm making art so that like I have a reason to exist, essentially. And I still think I am to some degree, but I feel like it feels a bit lighter than I did now. I feel like I wrote those lyrics to like stay here.
Wow. Yeah. Everything we go through, it grows us. Still I'm pulling at the door when it closes.
Ooh.
That's from Try.
Damn. Try? Yeah, I know. That was a sad song.
I told you how I thought you were saying, you can tell me that you love me.
Oh.
And then I think I commented that and you were like, that's not it. It's you don't love me. I was like, damn.
It's so much worse.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Go on.
Yeah, everything we go through, it grows us. Yeah, I guess that was like trying to be optimistic in the midst of the really bad time that was being gone through within that relationship.
Okay.
And then I know that I'm someone who like I really fluctuate. I think like I definitely have like a very fight or flight, or like flighty rather, in that moment mentality when it comes to difficult situations. But I can really hold on, or like pulling at the door, in the sense of like no but wait, like no but like and it gets super hard when it's someone who like you love and you want to love you. I think that's where Try came from, was like trying to like synthesize a lot of like how my abandonment issues or separation anxiety was playing into the relationship. And so you kind of like you have this like need to like just make sure that like the door stays ajar almost, or like there's some light being let in, because the room itself is quite dark.
This is a nice one. But your eyes are sun, shining soft as morning, hopeful for the day, still finding my footing, so I'm sorry if I stray.
Can you repeat it? Sorry.
No, I will. But your eyes are sun, shining soft as morning, hopeful for the day, still finding my footing. So there you
sorry
go.
if I stray.
Yep.
Oh man. Oh, that
was such a
you chose that one.
beautiful
man.
light lyric.
I was sprung. What the
Yeah.
fuck? I was just so like just like violently infatuated. I was like, I think that's that song I really liked. I'm glad I was just like deep in the delulu of of like
the honeymoon
romance.
phase. Yeah.
Because it allowed me to like just focus on all these things I like about someone. And the fact that like I'll be mid conversation and I'll notice something about like you, this person, and I'm just like, hey, like, you brother, do you know that your eyes are soft as morning?
Yeah.
And so that was like, that lyric to me was just very much like, being in that space.
Yeah.
Because there's like a delusional element to like all of that romance shit. But at the end of the day, like it's I think it's something.
There's a beauty to it.
There's a beauty to it. And there's something in it that's worth preserving. Even as you like do the other work, like it's like nice to be able to be like, hey, like I still think your eyes are soft as morning. So
yeah. Last one. Boys don't dry your fountain, these tears move mountains.
Water Boy.
Yeah.
That one was just like I think I'm very pro like emotional expression.
Okay.
A bit much, honestly, but like I think I especially when it comes to like men and like my male friends, I think I try and emphasize that like a lot of like masculinity is normalized or like socialized in a way that like if you don't express this, you're allowed to express it in like really shitty ways, ways that are like invasive or violent or like uncaring. So the idea of like drying your fountain and not expressing in any way, but like I think I'm referring specifically to crying, because I think crying is just like, it's something that like I definitely couldn't stop doing as a kid, and like at a certain point tried to switch off, and like very nearly succeeded, but
I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
We need that shit.
Very necessary. But I feel like it was in that sense, to me, I'm like, if you stop allowing yourself to feel in this way, you're gonna find a different way that is or could be harmful. And then also like we underestimate how powerful it can be to just honestly express, I guess, for ourselves and other people. So I think that I know that a lot of what's motivated me, specifically in the context of the song, like with like either like my friends, my close friends who are men, or like some male role models I have in my life. They're kind of like, it's been those moments. It's not the moments where they're like stoic and shit. It's the moments where they're like actually like
vulnerable.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna move on to our Q&A section.
Okay.
We had some good questions.
Okay.
We had some questions also. We had some good ones and some questions. So we'll just we use the hashtag Ask Mao. So the first question is hashtag Ask Joy. So we'll just intermingle the two. Do you ever get creative blocks? If so, how do you get over them as a writer/artist? That is your question.
I get creative blocks sometimes. They vary. I think honestly, like I'll get a creative block in the sense that like I don't know how to turn these thoughts into art.
Yes.
Necessarily, or like into music in a way that's like easy.
Yeah.
But I think that I do just have like a very intense, if not slightly overwhelming, like internal monologue happening. So like I'm never, so like, it's kind of weird. Like I'm never shy of words. If anything, what's hard, it's like I'm really grateful for it. And like my mom and I talked about it recently.
Okay.
But she was like, yo, like you don't realize like your emotions come into your mind fully formed as words, like kind of instantly.
Yeah.
Or at least a lot of the times it doesn't take longer than like 5 minutes for me to know how to like say how I feel.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the perfect way, it's like a way.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think what's difficult is like it's great, but like I can't like switch that off. So they'll always like come.
Yeah.
And then I feel like in that sense my head is like kind of overflowing, and I'll feel it. Like recently, for example, I haven't felt a creative block, but I felt like because I haven't been making music or like writing as much, I've been journaling but not like writing. There's been like a backlog of like words in my head.
Yeah.
So I think like the block comes because I don't have the avenue to like put them
releasing
somewhere.
them. Yeah. Okay. That was a good question actually. Someone asked me, what inspired you to get into radio? What are your plans for the radio show? I wasn't actually planning to get into radio like ever,
Really?
but I would live my life with everyone telling me, oh my God, you have a voice for radio, you have a voice for a podcast, you have a voice for this, for this.
It's
So
true.
I feel like people manifested it for me in a way. I never really thought of myself as like someone which is funny because I love to talk. So it was like, this would actually make the most sense career wise. So yeah, but I hadn't planned to get into it. But now that I'm here, I think I just want to showcase, artists and creatives within the area, within the city, and Kenya at large, and also hopefully go to Uganda and stuff. I want to interview Ugandan artists so bad because I'm so tapped into Ugandan music and culture as well, so that would be really fun. But yeah, so just for now, like, invite my friends, have a little key. Someone has asked, do you feel your consumption of anime and manga has had any influence on your music?
Yes.
Yeah?
Definitely.
How so?
I feel like sometimes I'll name beats after like anime things.
Okay.
Like moves or like certain themes and stuff, but also like lyrically sometimes it comes into it.
Yeah.
Especially like I'm trying to think. My Hero Academia is like the first anime that got me back into anime.
Yeah.
And so I have like a couple bars that like
do you want to share?
yeah.
Go on.
Oh, okay, sure. There's a song that's with like Lou and Lucarito and Junior and Tayo called Rumba that's coming out like later in the future. And what was the line? Goodness me, that boy too clever, came with the fire, they call me Endeavor. Endeavor is like a superhero who has like fire powers in the anime.
Oh, okay.
And, what is it? I think what is it? Wonder why the day's long, the work never pays off. Ijiro Kirishima quote, the weather never stays soft, and Kirishima is like a superhero who like his skin is like hardens.
Yeah.
So like the weather never stays soft, I guess is like it's like dumb, but like I feel like
It's not dumb though. I don't think it's dumb.
But like I think I mean I love how anime like it's like very even though it's like very fantasy scenes, it always roots itself, the good ones at least, in very human emotions.
Yeah.
So I kind of love that. And like I think that like I'll always watch anime when I feel like I want to persevere through hard times, because I just feel like that's what they be doing.
Yeah, my brother is a huge anime fan, and I think just because he's like so enamored with it, I'm just like, I can't even get into it. Like, it's like football for me. It's like, it's just one of those things that like my brother, he wakes up, he breathes and lives anime and football, and so because I'm just interacting with it all the time, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just take myself away from this situation because this seems like a lot. But I appreciate the art form as is, because I feel like, people who watch anime tend to be, I think, more creative, even just because there's just something in there. Or maybe it's just like Asian cinema in general, like something about the caliber of stuff that they create is very high. So yeah. Someone asked, would you let Joy feature in one of your songs? That was one of my friends just being silly.
Absolutely.
That would kind of eat though, I feel like.
It would definitely eat.
I have this.
I want you'd have to rap. Like I really love you. Yeah.
Let me tell you the funniest thing.
Yeah.
Valerie, I don't know if Valerie's tuning into this. Valerie Mudoni, you know when she did checklist. This is the checklist if you wanna. I wrote a verse for that.
Oh,
and
shit.
I'm yet to release it. And I be practicing that shit back to back in my house. And one day I'll just drop it. But like,
yeah, no, Valerie, if you listen to this, you need to hit Joy's line.
Yeah, actually, Valerie, hit me up. Hit me up. Someone said, "Oh, yes,
it's happening soon.
Tap in, please." What powers have your locks given you?
Oh my god.
Go on, Samson.
Powers? What?
Tell us.
Oh man,
The
it's
secret
like
powers.
so hard to. I don't even know what to say. I feel like I got locks too early because like I feel like people got them when they were older and self-aware and were like, oh, I feel this energy.
Yeah.
For me, it was like, this is all I knew from adolescent self-awareness, but they were tiny.
Yeah.
I think I just realized it got to a point where people were like, oh, I like your hair.
Yeah.
Like, wow, your hair's so long. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
Yeah.
I feel like it gives me like I think the only thing it gives me is like a slight, honestly, a conversational point. People will just be like, oh, yeah, I like your, maybe if like people are trying to like, I don't know, like chat to me or like flirt to me or something, they have a where to start. Someone had to tell me that. Someone had to be like, oh, by the way, like people aren't just complimenting your hair. Like they're saying,
trying to say what's up,
trying to slide.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh
damn.
I really thought this was the same as like someone being like, how much?
No. Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, I like that. I feel like, I don't know, there's also like the whole wisdom factor. You know, you met someone with locks and everyone's like, they gotta say something and you gotta listen because this is, you know, they're rooted. So I feel like that could be another thing for you. I don't know. Do you not feel like?
I feel a bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah.
To an extent.
There's like a level of like, oh, like, but then it's weird too because like I think that sometimes people, it's a mix of like, you know, wanting to get into deep combos at the club, but also like, I feel like the worst part about having locks, or like one of the worst, aside from like, you know, profiling, is like people who think that you like are also a hotep. Not even like, if people assume you're a hotep, you can, I feel like just talking to you, they can counteract that. But I feel like what's weird is like sometimes people will be like, you know,
you're on your
like,
Dr. Umar.
They'll be like, my brother, you know, like you get it, because I'm just like, I don't think I do though. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, like they'll ask me about like the spiritual significance of my hair, and I'm like, I'm gonna be so real with you. I got these twisted when I was 13 years old, and I just haven't really looked back. And that's where I am right now.
It's the whole tattoo conversation. Like, what does that mean? Like, I was drunk, probably.
Yeah, literally, I was impulsive.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah.
Someone once. Is your British adjacent accent real, or have you been playing this whole time?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
That's a very good question.
That's a hilarious question.
It would be hilarious if I was playing this whole time. I would honestly like, that would be unhinged, but like I'd be so proud of myself.
But you know, back in the day, people used to call it the twang.
The twang. Yeah.
The twang.
Yeah,
So people used to really force issues.
And I completely understand why. Like, I think for me, it's something that like I've not even, like, it's definitely, the weirdest thing is, like, since being here, it's gotten less, like a lot less.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And like to the point where I got to London and everyone was like, where are you from? And I was like, Kenya. And they're like, oh, like, they, like, no one would just be like, oh, you're British. They wouldn't assume that I was British.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like, it's an amalgamation of different things. Because I feel like when I was in the States, it got a bit more Americanized. But in the States, the weird thing was everyone there was like, oh, you're British. Like they,
oh shit.
Like immediately they were like, oh, you're from England.
Yeah.
To the point where I'd be like, I'm from Kenya, and they'd be like, no, you're not. Like that's not. No. Like,
stop playing.
Like, where are you really from? Like London, right? And I was like, but no. To answer that question, I'm sorry to disappoint. I have not been playing a character this whole time. I actually talk like this. Yeah. And I hope that's okay.
That's okay, Chair. That's fine. We're going to have to, you know, accept it. Oh, someone said, what is your type and are you straight?
Ooh.
Feel free to not answer those questions if you don't want to.
I mean, I'll do a brief overview.
Go on.
I mean, my type. I kind of hate this question.
I know.
You've not asked people this question. I feel like everyone's got their like biases.
Yeah.
Which like, you know, is like valid. Well, actually not always. I don't lie. It's like you can have your awareness of like what you're attracted to, but I think like ascribing it to certain like groups in a way that's discriminatory isn't cool. I will be honest and say that like mine is gonna be discriminatory because it's like black people.
Discriminatory in a good way.
In a great way.
In the best way.
But I feel like as far as like sexual orientation goes, I mean, I'm straight as far as I know. Like I don't. That's how I've been moving. But I also like, I think it's something that like I haven't really scrutinized. So. Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, are there any other music videos that you have hidden in the vault?
Yes.
Yeah?
There's one.
Okay.
I'm not going to say for which song, but it's a song on the album that was one of the singles, and I think people have said it's one of the most danceable. So look out for that.
All right.
It's coming soon.
All right. We're excited for that one. I feel like I know the one it is, but I would just keep it on. What is the weirdest thing you've gained inspiration to write from?
What's the weirdest thing I've gained inspiration to write from? Maybe okay, so this is a song that's not anywhere listenable. Maybe one day I'll like remix it or master it and it'll be out. But I wrote a song once about not being able to go to bed. And
like insomnia,
and then I kind of made it into like a bit like a romantic song, like but like it was definitely started from insomnia. Okay, or it's like so the song's called I Should Go to Bed. Yeah, so it's like I should go to bed 'cause it's 2:30, but I'm still missing you. And like and then it became a whole thing because like we made the song and then Junior, like my friend, like got and made like he played the sax on it.
Oh damn!
And like we played it early days when I was still in uni. Like we played it in a couple shows, and there was one show in particular in a basement, and that shit went off. Yeah, like, I was so shocked that people were like vibing with it. But yeah, I'd say like a mix of that. Yeah, and I think writing songs about maybe my start point with songs will be very specific moments that I share with people. So like I wrote one song about like family. Yeah, and like specifically relating to me and my sister's relationship. Okay, it's on Bandcamp somewhere. Yeah, it's called Tetris. Yeah, but one of the like key start points was the fact that like, because we were like growing up away and like we weren't in Kenya as much and like we weren't in church as much. Yeah, so like our parents weren't really forcing us to pray or anything. Like we would come back home or like go to shags or something, and we would always be like in the middle of prayers and like we would look up and we would be the only people with our eyes open, so we would like look at each other and be like, hey, okay, now back down. Yeah. But it was like that to me was like it seems weird, but it's like a nice, like we're on the same page. Yeah, like at least there's someone else who feels this, like I'm not the only one who's not where everyone else is. Yeah, and so I think that was a nice like inspiration point.
Okay. Someone is asking, as someone who's studied film, does it mean that you take 100% credit for the visual direction on your music videos?
Oh, absolutely not. Mm-hmm. No. I think it's pretty varied, but in general, I really try and work with the person, because I think art is also about like intention and like the hat you're wearing. So like as much as I want to be a director and sole director, like I can't put that hat on as easily when I'm still wearing my musician hat. So and you know, collaboration, the beauty of it is like everyone brings something good and something new. So with the videos for this project especially, like I really did my best to let go. So I would come with ideas or like some, you know, suggestions. I would definitely influence the visual direction. Yeah. But a lot of the time, I really just either would like, so like in the case with like I Like Entice, like I had an idea that was kind of vague, and then I gave that idea to Tice, and then he really refined it a lot, and then we put it into a space and like shot it. And then with Chebeni, like he's someone who like I literally let him listen to the album and he came with like 6 fully fleshed ideas.
Wow.
Which was incredible. And like to me that really kickstarted that visual side of things, because I didn't have enough focus to like be like, okay, I have an idea, let's do it.
Yeah.
But he's someone who's like, I have an idea, we're gonna do it and we're gonna get everything detailed and right. So like with Ghost, like he had a whole treatment and all these ideas ready. And I think honestly, like as much as I did have a hand in the visual direction, like it was just fine tuning things that he had already like come up with.
Yeah. Okay. Someone asked, on building a brand, how to build a brand and what do you want to be known for?
Shit.
I know.
Building a brand, I don't know if I'm like, I'll be real with you, like I feel like I've built a brand slightly unintentionally. Like I have aesthetic awareness and a direction, and then I have like my subject matter and my what I want to talk about and like my values or whatever. But like I feel like when it comes down to it, one of the hardest things that I find is like I'll think about my brand and I'll be like, okay, like what am I selling?
Yeah.
Because brands to me are about selling something, and I don't know if I know what that is yet. I think I want people to take away a level of warmth and like personability. I don't know, like just a level of like a personal resonance or relatability, and then also just feeling like warmth. But that's so weird to sell to me. Like that feels fucking like if I'm making songs for myself and then people are liking them, but if I actually try to like package that
to manufacture,
it would
like
be so weird. So I think I've honestly kind of made peace with the fact that like I have maybe a brand, but I don't think it's gonna be super lucrative as just a brand yet, because I don't want to like cheapen it in that way. I think at the end of the day, if you're an artist who wants to create a brand, just focus on being yourself, and then finding what parts of yourself like to be shared.
Ndungo on Twitter, they tweeted this.
Lord.
They said,
let's go.
Ask Mao to carry his laptop. There may or may not be someone with a ski mask and a gun outside the studio walking to get some files from there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I have to send him things.
Apparently.
I have to send a lot of people things.
Yeah.
This is the reply thing again. I owe so many people like files or verses or I've made peace with it. Dungo clearly hasn't.
Yeah.
If I get jumped outside, I know why and I accept it.
And he just exposed himself. So that at the end of the day, we'll know what happened. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll be hurt. But
I hear you on the file thing. Today, I literally bought a USB cord for 1,500.
Like, what is that? That's ridiculous.
I just sat there as I was transferring the files to my laptop because I had to send them to someone as well, and I was like, is this really the life that I'm going to be living now, buying cords for 15 reds? Like, on a real note though, it's crazy.
It's insane.
Anyway, we're gonna move to our final section of the night, which is our SNL section, our sneaky link section.
Lord, okay.
So just explain how that works. I'm going to read a couple of scenarios that were sent in by our followers and the people that are, part of this channel. And I'm going to read them out loud, and me and you will decide if we are going to link or are we going to think. So it's link or think is the two options,
think
essentially.
Just being like refusal.
Yeah. Because if you really sit down and think, you ain't really need to be there. Yeah. Exactly. Someone said, I went through my partner's phone secretly and I feel wrong for doing it, but I found exactly what I wanted to find. Am I wrong? How do I bring it up to them? I know I'm not supposed to be going through their phone, but I found out some shady shit as well. That's not really a link or think, but I guess the link is like, you're not really wrong, but then the think could be maybe you are kind of wrong. So how do you feel?
That one's tough.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been through it, but a lot of people I care about have. I feel like if your fears have been confirmed, because to me, I feel like if a lot of people, like most people are like, okay, most is an exaggeration, but like I do think that like we're quite, naturally, to some degree, rational, caring people.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone goes into a relationship thinking like, I want to check your phone every day, unless they've been through something traumatic.
Yeah.
But even still.
Yeah.
So if you're, a lot of the times that I've seen, if your partner is at the point where they want to check your phone, then there's probably something to find. And then in that sense, it's like, okay, you guys baseline don't have, like, the trust isn't there. And I think the partner who hid something definitely has a hand, like the largest hand in the trust not being there. But also, like, yeah, you shouldn't really be going through your partner's phone.
Yeah.
But like, if you found what you were looking for, then like, yeah, there's some shit that like, there's underlying shit there.
You gotta confront
It's a
it now.
sticky one, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you might as well, because if you've gone through it, you've already done the deed, and
Yeah.
they've done the deed that caused you to do your deed.
And fundamentally, yours is the lesser deed.
Exactly.
I think that's the key thing.
Exactly.
So, like, because a lot of times that will happen, and then someone will be like, "Why'd you go through my phone?" But it's like, don't try
nigga,
and, like,
you was cheating.
yeah, exactly.
Like, okay.
Like, you were,
I'm
yeah.
not laughing at your situation. Sorry, I'm just laughing at the absurdity of people sometimes. So what are we saying? How do they bring it up? What do you think?
How do they bring it up? I'm a big, like, I don't know. It's tough and it's messy.
Go on.
It's gonna be messy.
Yeah.
But like, I'm a big, like, I think if you've gone that deep, like, you just need to kind of like be straight up.
Yeah.
Because I think like the reason it got there is because the other person was playing games. So if you continue to play games, because sometimes I think we feel like, oh, if I suggest, they'll admit, or if I,
Yeah.
but it's like, nah, if you just say, look, I found this,
Yeah.
and I'm sorry for invading your privacy, but like, I
Yeah.
found this,
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to get to the meat and potatoes
Yeah.
of what you're trying to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. All right, so our second scenario, I'm seeing someone who alleges they're in an open relationship but continuously speaks to me about how their growing feelings for me is affecting their relationship with their girlfriend. Is this my problem? I'm having fun, so what do I do? Okay, so what are we going to do? Are we linking or are we thinking?
Linking would be like,
I think it would be like continuing to kiki, and then think you would be taking a step back and be like,
is it a cop out to say like a bit of both?
oh, okay. That's interesting. I would have gone straight to think, but tell me why you think link.
I mean, I think start with thinking.
Okay.
But I think the thinking is about like you as a person.
Yes.
Like, are you someone who feels comfortable doing this knowing that it's harmful
Yeah.
to someone else's relationship?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like, there's a lot of, I mean, I feel like I've been trying to and like not doing a great job all the time, but like there's like empirical right and wrong
Yeah.
are very difficult,
Yeah.
like sometimes to square in a complicated dynamic that involves a lot of people's feelings.
Of
And in this
course.
case, it's like there's their relationship and there's you, and they're connected, but you are on the you side. And so it's like I think it's important to consider whether when they say, oh, like my feelings for you are damaging my relationship, is that because of just the feelings, or is that because of how they're acting, the person in the relationship? And then in that case, I think it's important to know, like, yeah, like, I don't think fundamentally it's like the exterior person's fault, but I think maybe it's like a question of asking yourself, like, do I want to, knowing that the person in the relationship might not want to change their behavior, do I want to like contribute to that?
Yeah.
Is it going to weigh on my conscience, or is it going to make this less fun?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like the fun is about lightness and coolness and etc, but also I think it's about safety and security, and like, do you feel safe knowing that, like, you know, there's all this shit in the midst of like you having something that's supposed to be light, essentially.
Yeah. And I think open relationships can be a bit tricky because it's like, does their partner know about you?
Yeah.
Are they being honest with their partner about their feelings for you as well? So there's like a bunch of factors to consider. So yeah, I mean, think then link, I guess I could go with. This person I've been talking to has been convincing me they're deep and in tune with their emotions, but it turns out they just love hearing themselves talk and know a bunch of Twitter buzzwords that kept me interested. How do I separate the real niggas from the phonies? I can't keep doing this. Ooh, chair. I'm guessing this one has to think, like there's no choice at this point.
Really
How do you separate the real niggas from the phonies? That's a good question. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that could apply to like a bunch of different scenarios. It's the same way when you're making a friend, you know, or when you're in a friendship with somebody and you're trying to, you feel like you're walking on eggshells, or you feel like you can't be fully vulnerable, or there's just a bunch of little things that inhibit you from really having a positive relationship with this person. And I feel like that just is the same thing with like romantic situations. It's like, how do you feel when you're around the person? When they walk in, are you happy? Are you stressed? Are you on edge? Are you anxious? You know, that kind of thing. And also, how do they act? Because, you know, niggas just be saying things. Babes too, by the way. When I say niggas, it's like a gender neutral thing, because I'm a nigga. I consider myself a nigga, so you know. I think it's just how are they? Do they say things and then mean them, or do they say things and then now we're not really sure where they really stand with those things? So I don't know. What do you think?
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
About like feeling and action, especially.
Action.
I'm like someone who talks a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like I act too, but like I think I'm someone who like has learned recently.
Yeah.
From my partner as well, like how action is important, but also like it's like the thing about action, and I'm realizing this about myself, is like part of why I talk isn't just because I'm expressive, but also because I think like talking leads to conversation, which leads to like maybe a more immediate reassurance. I feel like action is different because you just act, and then you have to like you need to be secure in that action, and it's a bit more like, you know, it doesn't have like an immediate reaction.
Yeah,
it's kind of like acting.
Yeah,
like you want to do this thing.
Yeah.
In terms of the talk shit, like I don't know, do they listen? Like I feel like I'm someone. I think it's also like you can get very enamored with how someone talks.
But do they listen? That's actually a very huge one for me. I think when I'm talking to someone, and I found that this is the case especially with guys, not necessarily all of them, but I think predominantly, like I could be talking to someone, or like, you know, getting to know somebody, and for however long we've had a conversation, they've not asked me a question. I've not said shit. Nah, they'll leave the conversation, feel like, wow, you know, I just felt like so seen. And I'm like, well, I wasn't seen, nigga, because you ain't asked me shit.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
No,
so a real nigga will ask you questions. A real nigga will be interested in what you're doing as well. So
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah. How about best sex ever from my sneaky link, but they called me the wrong name. My Jesus.
Brother Bennett.
My savior. Because they gave you that best sex knowing that you're not the person who you are. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
That's legitimately insane. I'm sorry, that's like one of the best. I'm not laughing at your pain.
Yeah, we're not.
But like, that's
it's shooken though. What? Best sex ever. But they called you the wrong name. Oh, that's tough.
I'm gonna be real with you, like, it really
Are we linking or thinking?
So it depends on what you're trying to do with your life right now. No, like, for real.
Where are you going in life?
What do you want in life right now?
Yeah.
If you want good sex, then maybe you want to link. Maybe you want to name switch. Talk about it. Listen, I think regardless of what happens, this should be addressed, because that's insane.
Okay.
I don't think like. I mean, I've heard of it happen. I've seen it in movies. I don't think I've ever been called the wrong name or called someone the wrong name during sex. God forbid.
I'd
be so offended.
God forbid.
I'd be so offended. Even if that shit hit, I'm sorry. Like, I'd be so offended.
Like what? What? Because that's the thing. Because okay, what if it's like a situation where they're thinking of that person and that's why they're giving you the good sex?
That's the only reason you would have to say someone's name.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't think about, like, names to me don't pop up during life, let alone sex. And I'm thinking about someone.
So
it's like if they're putting it down and they're calling someone else's name, they're clearly not thinking about you.
But that's the thing. So if you want the good sex, you gotta stay even if they call you. What if they in order to give you the good sex, they need to call you that?
No, you
just need to
do that shit. Don't do that shit.
All right. We're think a little, babe. Think gassy, because it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. Like, hey.
That's mad.
Anyway,
I'm so sorry.
Just found out. Oh,
what is it?
That's painful. Just found out the man I'm in love with is married with kids.
Oh
my God. Achana now. Achana to now.
Okay.
No, achana to now.
Yeah, no, think.
You can't go back from that one.
Yeah, no, don't delete his number.
Married with kids.
That's
with
crazy.
Kids, my nigga.
Children, youngins.
This is how I felt at the end of La La Land when I found out that Emma and whatever had that man. Did you watch La La Land? Oh,
was it John Legend?
No, not John Legend. You need to watch La La Land. Wow, come on.
I think I didn't watch it as protest because.
Okay, you know what?
I was like being in film school and La La Land came out was so painful.
That's a different dynamic. So many white people
being like, but like jazz, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. I do not want to hear about white people and jazz in the same sentence for a while.
Ever.
I'm sorry. Like, yes, I know they're the greats. I know about fucking Charlie Bird. Like, I don't care, nigga. I don't. Yeah. I think that to me that was just like a big.
Yeah. The thing is, I respect your protest completely. So.
Yeah, no. And I was still, like bump Chet Baker. Like, I'm not saying that like I don't respect white people in jazz. I'm just saying that like that film was like so loud. And I'm like, it's a fucking musical. Like, just let it, you know what I'm saying?
Just
like,
let it be.
Also, how dare you infringe on Moonlight right now? Like, Moonlight needs to.
See, that's where my La La Land, that's why I'm very conflicted when it comes to La La Land. Because I'm like, I love it. But the way y'all did Moonlight, like.
Yeah. If it wasn't for that one white dude, they would have kept the Oscar. I still think so.
Oh shit!
It was like a one producer who was like, no, Moonlight. No,
actually, Moonlight.
And low key in the background, people were like, yo,
just let it go. Like, was it Jimmy who was like, oh, why not just keep the award? Fuck you. Sorry. You're cussing niggas out. This is the final one. I was hanging out with my cousin and his friends and caught a little vibe with his best friend. Okay, so my cousin's best friend. Okay, I ended up doing things with him, but my cousin doing things. But my cousin doesn't know. I admitted to him later that we kissed, but I'm trying to spin the block. Is that messy, or are we linking? Or are we thinking? Are we linking the gang, or are we thinking? What do you think, Ma? What do you think?
Oh man. So I often get asked by like friends or people about like this thing where like you tell like a partial truth.
Okay.
Which is convenient.
Yeah. Like a white lie, or what is that?
Well, like the fact that to me in this question it seems like they said like they did the dirty, but like they said we just kissed.
Oh.
Did I read that wrong? Did I hear
that wrong?
Wait,
actually, let me read that again, Cher. They said doing no. Call a little vibe. Oh, end up doing things. Oh, I only admitted that we just kissed. Yeah.
So to me, that's what complicates things.
Yeah.
Because if you spin the block, it's like you're gonna do. It's like to me, I feel like the hurdle is okay. Yeah, what's the cousin gonna think? They could be calm with it. You know what I'm saying? We don't know, but I feel like if anything, if that happened to me and I was the cousin, I'd be more like, why did you tell me that you just kissed? I don't think I'd be particularly angry, but I'd be kind of like confused. But I feel like honestly, people don't own people in that regard. Like, you could definitely link, but I would just think about like how you want to maybe, if you like, hang out with your cousin friends and them, like just making sure that like
the dynamic
and also just being transparent. But I also feel weird sometimes when it comes to like I've had friends come up to me and be like, oh shit, by the way, like I kissed your like other really good friend, or like we've started like hanging out, and I'm kind of like, do your thing. Like, I don't know. So like, that's me, but like other people might feel more about it.
Definitely.
So
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit messy, so I just say link.
Just link. No, because it's not that. You know what I'm saying? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like it's like your, I don't know, like your ex's cousin.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like more like, oh, like there's no real claim here. Like
Yeah.
You're actually just outside of this relationship. You're just two people.
Yeah.
And you haven't betrayed anyone's trust.
Yeah.
Like, your cousin doesn't own his friend and can therefore decide who he or she like, or they like end up being intimate with. So
yeah, I think my only thing is that, like, if you're ready to walk in the room and all them niggas is there or all them babes is there, you can just walk in and be like, yeah, I did what I did. That's cool.
I'm having fun.
You know, exactly.
Yeah.
Stand in your truth.
Literally.
I think is where I'm at.
I agree.
Yeah, but that is the end. That is actually crazy. We've literally reached midnight, like, on the dot.
Amazing.
Thank you guys for tuning in, guys. This has been our second episode of Late Night Thoughts with Elchi, myself, your host. Thank you so much to our guest Kamau for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
You've
It's been such a pleasure.
It has. We've had a real good time.
Very good time.
Everyone that wanted to know about Mao, guys, we found out everything about Mao in this episode.
Where?
So, you know, tune in. Exclusive, literally.
Yeah, I've shared. Wow.
So thank you guys. We will see you guys next week. Have a great week, and yeah, goodbye.
Bye.